Welcome back to another video, guys. Today is kind of a special one. We're going to be doing a 1-year retrospective on my MK7 GTI. As you guys can see, the weather is definitely not ideal today for a video like this, but we're going to make the best of it as best as we can. So we're going to go run some quick errands. I got to run some clothes to the dry cleaner. For those who don't know my job, I work in a court, and pretty much I have to keep these button-ups in pristine condition all the time. And quite frankly, I'd rather pay somebody else to handle the dry cleaning side of things than you know, me try to figure out how to iron stuff properly, because I'm clumsy. I'll burn the shirt. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm super clumsy and I will damage stuff. So I just, you know, I pay the $14 every couple of weeks to go ahead and get the clothes dry cleaned, however much it costs. Usually not much more than 12 bucks, but you know, it's not that big of a deal to me, really. It's just, you know, one of those things, I guess. But we're gonna run and do that. I'm gonna run inside of a local Kroger, go pick up some lunch, maybe some Starbucks as well, which is something I typically don't drink, but I've been tired lately. Your boy hasn't been sleeping well for weeks, so your boy could use some caffeine to get up this morning. And the Kroger deli out here actually has some halfway decent food, so I'm gonna have that because it's been a while, and they have really good popcorn chicken, which I really like popcorn chicken. But anyway, once we do all that, we're gonna get back here and we're gonna talk about the car and my 1-year retrospective with my MK7. So let's hit the road and have a fun day. Alright, we're gonna hit the road today and go and have a fun time. Going out for a fun little drive. I know this is a little bit more obscure of an angle, but quite frankly, don't have my POV cam, and a lot of people I've been watching are utilizing an angle similar to this, and so I'm gonna steal it too. The one other Volkswagen in the neighborhood behind me, and we are on the road. So yeah, today guys, we're talking about the 1-year retrospective with my GTI, and it has been just a fun-filled year. And so I've put about 9,000 miles on this car since I picked it up back in January of 2022. And it's been a very fun-filled 9,000 miles, like what you guys have saw. I have done more with this car than I ever did with the Sport Track in the 6 years that I had that truck, and the almost, like, I think it goes 37,000 miles I put on that in the 6 years I had it. This car, I put 9,000 on it in a year, which is something that I didn't think I would ever do, is put that many miles on a car in a year. If you guys are able to see the cluster, disregard the orange triangle. That is, as I've mentioned before, due to some wacky shenanigans with my VLAN taillights on this car. It's the reason why I'm kind of, you know, ticked off about the VLAN stuff. I love their headlights. I've been rocking their Mark 8 style headlights for probably close to 6 months now in this car, and they've been fine. The taillights on their hand are just, in my opinion, shite. They're just, you know, having to modify the connector and then getting errors on top of all that whenever they're hooked up. They function, it's just, you know, something in the CAN bus is ticked off. So, but this car's been a tail of the dragon. It's been, you know, out of state a handful of times with me, which is stuff I would never have done with the Sport Track. The Sport Track never ventured outside of Georgia. So, I mean, and the entirety of the 6 years I had with this car has been in Alabama, it's been in North Carolina, briefly in Tennessee. This car's been everywhere. So we're pulling up to the dry cleaner. I'm gonna take care of that, and then we're gonna go take care of my other errands, and I'll catch up with you guys back at the house. Starbucks is acquired. Got some money to buy Michael's phone off of him because my Z Flip is awful. But now I think the cleaner should be open because they weren't open when I got there for some reason. I just had to sign it to be back in 10, so it's been over 10 minutes, so I'm hoping they're back and I can get these clothes taken care of for work next week, since I got a week off this week. And we're gonna get back to the house. I'm gonna eat lunch because I'm starving. Unfortunately, didn't have any potato wedges, and the only popcorn chicken they had was cold, so unfortunate. But oh well, not a big deal in the grand scheme of things. It was a $2 lunch. I think who all can say they've spent that much on going out and getting food. But we'll get back. I've got some potato chips at home or something that I can eat with them. But anyway, let's go take care of the clothes stuff, and I'll get back to the house and we'll finish up this video. Alright guys, so I'm back home. This is like the third take of me trying to do this, so I keep botching it up. But it's still kind of raining out, so hopefully I don't have to like shield the camera or nothing. But we're back home. We're gonna do the 1-year retrospective on my car. So if you guys are new to my channel, this is my 2017 Volkswagen GTI. pretty much just a rundown. It's pretty much the best you can do on stock suspension and stock turbo and all that kind of stuff. It's EQT stage 2. It's got smart plugs upgraded. It's got all that good stuff. Stock intercooler, unfortunately. VLAN headlights, Mark 8 style. One of, I think, only 2 GTIs that I'm aware of that run these lights. The other one is also, ironically enough, in Atlanta, so that I am aware of. There probably are more out there that are running them, but I'm just not aware of them. I got ECS front lip that I absolutely hate. Koenig countergrams, wrapped in PS4S's, 235s, 18 by 8.5 wheels, all the way around. We got VLAN taillights, which I like how they look, do not like how they function, because for one, I couldn't get the sequentials to work. It looks like that's just a disaster of a, mislabel. I've obviously seen them working. I just don't know how to get them working. And then they throw errors like I was talking about earlier on in the video. We got Natami black chrome tips on the car. Got badge skins because this is a non-performance pack car, so I got the badge skins to make the badges red, just like the performance pack cars, because in my opinion, I don't like the silver badges. So this is a sticker. If you guys watched the Speed 3 review, I just uploaded a couple days ago. This is a sticker that me and Michael are matching right now on that I mentioned. And then under the hood, new speed intake, HPA downpipe, catted, of course, for my personal taste. And then CTS turbo inlet, and it's a stock catback. I am going to be changing that. I am planning on getting a Valvetronic muffler put in here and deleting the back box and probably putting a vibrant resonator in alongside the Valvetronic, just to kind of clear out as much rasp as I can and get as much volume as I can without this car sounding terrible. Because in my opinion, GTIs, unfortunately, Mark 7s in particular, not the best sounding 4-cylinder in the market right now. I think the Veloster N kind of dominates that field in terms of being the better sounding factory 4-cylinder and a hatchback. Now obviously if you throw the B48 in the equation, that's a good sounding 4-cylinder. But anyway, I love this car though still, even with the funky sounding kind of blender kind of sounding EA8 engine. But this is probably my favorite car I've owned out of the 2 that I've owned, obviously. So 1-year retrospective, for those who don't know, this video, I'm filming it the 1-year anniversary of the day I test drove it. So it was way back in January last year. Pretty much went in to buy a Mark 8R. Order window was already closed because my idea was I can save up enough money to get a down payment together by the time the car shows up off the truck, and I can take it home and get payments pretty low. Issue is they didn't work out that way because the order window was already closed, and I was like, I'm not dropping 50K on a Volkswagen. If I'm gonna drop 50K, I'm getting a BMW or a Mercedes or an Audi, something of that nature, something like an S3, an RS3, stuff like that. If I'm spending 50, I'm getting an RS3 or like a used M3, something like that. But I'm not dropping 50K on a Volkswagen. I'm sorry. I love the Mark 8R to death. I'm not dropping 50K on one. I was looking to get one right around MSRP, which unfortunately since the order window was closed, I wasn't able to do. So I went to order a Mark 8 GTI instead after they told me that. And unfortunately I didn't have enough money at the time to put the deposit down. And they were like, okay, but hold on, before you go home, do you like Mark 7s? I was like, I love Mark 7s. They're one of my favorite cars. And they're like, okay, we got 3. We got 2 manuals and a DSG. I was like, I can't drive stick, so bring the DSG to me. And I drove it, fell absolutely head over heels for this car, and took it home 2 days later. I wound up trading the Sport Track in, as a lot of you guys know, and that's part of what this video is going to be about, is if I made the right decision, and so we're going to talk about all of that. But in terms of reliability, which is probably the biggest kind of like argue point between owning any German car over something like a Ford, like my brother, or a Chevy, like my sister, I'm gonna be honest with you, this car's been perfect. I've had it for a year. I put 9,000 miles on it in the year that I've had it, and it has been perfect. I think the only thing I can really give it a hard time over is that this does have the issue with the shift lever that can happen, the transmission error that will pop up for like a quarter of a second and then go away. It's literally just nothing other than flash the message on the dash, and knocking on everything, it hasn't done it in quite a long time. I think it was back in like September the last time it did it, so it's been very chill since then. It's been fine, and very happy about that, because that did give me an anxiety attack because I thought I'd somehow killed the DSG. But it's fine. The car is DSG tuned as well, which I forgot to mention. My boys over at Z34 did that for me. I say did that for me like if they did it for free, I paid for it. But anyway, and then we had a limp mode issue which I was chasing down, which I kind of think was 2 things. So I had it tuned by HPA priors. A lot of you guys know who've been watching this for a while, the car was HPA tuned. And then I moved over to EQT. I had Veltsport RS3 coil packs in the car for a while. That video unfortunately is no longer on YouTube because someone who owns a white Speed 3 had to show something inappropriate to the camera that would have gotten my entire channel taken down had I left the video up. So that video's gone. But anyway, I put the Veltsport packs in and it was fine for about 2 months. And then out of nowhere, I started experiencing limp mode. Because the first time I did it, I thought it was a DSG issue. So I got the DSG tune and did it again immediately on the first drive with the DSG tune. So I was completely clueless what's causing it. And so I eventually decided to just go ahead and get the coil packs and spark plugs because I didn't know at the time you needed to swap out plugs and go a step colder on stage 2. I was running stock plugs. I know, go ahead, flame me for it. But anyway, went ahead, did all that, put the Veltsport packs in, drove it around, started doing it again, and I just got so fed up with it because I was kind of going on a wild goose chase, chasing issues that weren't an issue on this car, such as like the wastegate actuator and a couple of other things. And so I was like, you know what, I'm upending this whole thing. We're starting over. So I went to EQT, got their stage 2 set up. I went ahead and put my OEM coil packs back in the car, and you know, knock on everything, it's been fine ever since. I've done plenty of pulls, plenty of aggressive pulls at that, you know, outside of the second gear, which is always my favorite gear to do pulls in. And it's been perfect. I haven't had an issue with it since. So car has been perfectly fine. It's been about as reliable as you can ask it to be. And I think honestly, if you're gonna get a German car, the time has never been better if you're looking for a newer German car and you want reliability. The B58 is absurdly reliable in the BMW field. I mean, if there's a reason Toyota picked that engine for the Supra. There's a reason for it, and it passed all Toyota's quality control and all that kind of stuff. So I'd imagine, you know, B58 BMWs are exceptional. These engines are as well. Volkswagen did a lot of time, you know, building this engine to be as reliable as can be. It's got really strong internals, so it can handle a butt ton of power. Not as much torque, but a butt ton of power. And I think now is the time to buy a German car. They finally cracked the code to be as reliable as your Toyotas or your Fords or something like that. I don't want to say as reliable as a Toyota because, you know, as a Toyota fan myself, Toyota is just the king of reliability. There's no way you're going to have a German car more reliable than a Toyota. But for a German car, these are Japanese rivaling reliability now, which is kind of cool to see. It's kind of cool to see because you don't see that very much in German cars. You always see people complaining about reliability in German cars, but this thing has been great. So now the boiling question: did I make the right decision getting rid of my Sport Track and jumping into a hot hatch that I'd never driven before up until the day I test drove this car, and completely upending everything? My channel went from being mostly blue oval based to now being based on VWs, which is something very different from Fords, and also going from a pickup truck to a hot hatch. And I still think it was the best decision I could have ever made. And this car, like I said, I've always said I was a car guy in a truck owner's body. I never really was big into trucks. I never have been, never will be. In fact, if I get another truck, it's more than likely going to stay stock. Because quite frankly, that's just not my thing. I don't do off-roading. I don't do the whole, you know, truck stuff. I don't go mudding. I don't go hunting. I don't do all that kind of stuff. It's just not for me. This car was more in line with what I do. Volkswagen's a brand that hits home for me. It's a brand that has been around my family for a very, very, very long time, longer than even my dad has been alive. So, you know, it's a big, long time thing for us to have Volkswagens in the family, and so keeping the tradition going was kind of important to me. But that was that. I think out of all the cars that I could have got, I think I still wound up with the best one possible for what I wanted out of a car. I wanted something that was fast. I wanted something that was reliable, good on gas, and practical. And I think I got all of those really in one package, especially with the EQT tune on it, making mid-300s. And so, yeah, I think that's all I really need to say and all I really have to say at the moment. So thank you all for watching this video. If you're be sure to leave a like, subscribe for more content coming soon. Before you guys go, one little hint. I did get some coilovers for this car. We're going coilover and sway bar in this car coming this weekend. So actually the day before this video went up. So stay tuned for that coming next week. We're gonna have the install video. And yeah, I will see you, excuse me, I will see you guys next time. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys later. With